Have you ever wondered why, despite your best efforts, you sometimes feel like you're just spinning your wheels? It's easy to think the problem is laziness, a lack of motivation or discipline. But in reality, most people don't fail because they aren't working hard enough. They fail because they don't have a clear destination. Imagine getting in your car and just driving without a destination in mind. Every intersection becomes a new indecision. Every road seems like a dead end, and eventually you end up nowhere in particular. The truth is, if you don't know precisely where you want to go, no amount of action will get you there. That is why clarity is the most underrated power in shaping our lives. Today that changes. Today you're going to design your life 3 years from now, not someday, not in the far-off future where dreams remain comfortable and untouched, but a real vivid vision, set just 3 years ahead, close enough to seem possible, far enough away to become truly transformative. This is where fantasy and reality meet, where the seeds you plant today become the life you wake up to. Let's first uncover something fundamental. Why 3 years? Why not just next year or 5 or 10? 3 years is the sweet spot for real change. If you try to envision your future only 1 year from today, most people default to tweaks or small improvements. 1 year is often just about survival. It's hard to think outside the bounds of current circumstances when all you can see is the next few months. You might think, what's realistic for me by next spring? The answer is usually a slightly better version of my current life. Not a breakthrough, not a transformation. On the other hand, if you think in terms of 10 years, the vision can become so distant, so vague, that it loses its urgency. It becomes a fantasy, something you may or may not begin taking action on because the deadline is so far away. Dreams set that far ahead rarely get chased today. There's always tomorrow, always next year, always another chance. The result is that nothing changes now. But 3 years, that's just long enough to allow for radical change, and short enough that you feel the clock ticking. 3 years is about 1,000 days. Think about that for a moment. In the next 1,000 days, you could learn a language, build a business, transform your health, move across the world, change careers, or rewrite the story you're telling yourself about what's possible. It's long enough to break the momentum of today's version of you, but short enough to start taking action right now. So, if 3 years is the sweet spot for visioning, why do most people still struggle to create meaningful, inspiring visions for themselves? There are a few common mistakes that show up again and again when people try to design their future lives. First, they think in terms of goals, not identity. They set specific, measurable, achievable goals. Things like, I want to save $20,000 or I want to lose 10 kilograms. Goals are helpful, but when they're not rooted in a higher vision of who you want to become, they can feel hollow. The best visions aren't just about what you want to do, but about who you want to be. They're not checklists, but guiding stars. Second, people often copy and paste other people's dreams. They see someone else's highlight reel and think, that's what I should want too. The desire for success, for happiness, for abundance, these are universal, but the forms they take should be uniquely yours. When you chase someone else's definition of success, you can achieve everything on the list and still feel empty. Your vision needs to be yours, not a collage built from social media scrolls or parents' expectations. Third, the visions are often vague. I just want to be happy. I want to be successful. I want to experience peace. These are beautiful intentions, but without detail, They're like shooting an arrow at a blank wall. What does happiness look like for you? When you say you want success, what does it involve, and how do you know you've arrived? Vague visions yield vague results. The clearer your target, the more likely you are to hit it. That's why the act of writing your 3-year vision is so powerful. It's not about crafting the perfect paragraph or predicting every detail. It's about pulling your future to the surface, holding it up to the light, and clarifying it so precisely that your brain and body begin to move toward it almost automatically. Let's walk through a simple framework for creating your 3-year vision. For a moment, find a quiet space and close your eyes. Picture yourself 3 years from today. The world has shifted, and so have you. Ask yourself, fully and without filtering, these powerful questions. Where are you waking up? What city, country, or place do you find yourself in? Is the space bright and minimalist, or cozy and eclectic, or surrounded by nature? Imagine it in detail, from the sheets you wake up in to the first sounds you hear. What do you do for work? Are you running your own company, climbing the ladder in your chosen field? Or are you creating art, teaching, or mentoring others? How do you fill your days with purpose? What impact are you making? What value do you bring? Who are you surrounded by? Who are the people in your life? What kinds of relationships are you nurturing? Who do you see when you come home, or at the end of a long day? Who challenges you, supports you, inspires you, and makes you laugh? What kind of energy do you bring into the day? Are you grounded, focused, and calm? Are you energetic and ambitious? How do you deal with setbacks? What habits and routines support your well-being? What have you stopped tolerating? What are the things, behaviors, or situations you no longer accept in your life because you know they no longer serve you or your vision? Maybe it's self-doubt, toxic relationships, clutter, disorganization, or procrastination. Who have you become? At your core, how have you changed over these 3 years? Are you more courageous, more patient, more grateful? Have you become a better leader, or a better friend, or simply more at peace with yourself? Once you've explored these questions, the next step is to craft a 1-page vision, written in the present tense, as if you are already living it. There is power in the present tense. It tells your mind, this is real, this is happening. A vision might sound something like this. It's May 2028. I wake up at 6 a.m., sunlight streaming through the window of my home. The room is simple, but filled with warmth and a few of my favorite books. I stretch as my dog greets me, tail wagging, and I breathe in with gratitude for the day ahead. I walk into the kitchen, where I see my partner, and we share a coffee and a laugh before the day begins. My work is both challenging and fulfilling. I spend my days building something meaningful, helping people discover their strengths and launch their own dreams. I work with a small but passionate team, and each day never feels like a chore, but an opportunity. 3 years ago, I dreamed of this balance between passion, contribution, and freedom, and now it's real. I leave work feeling energized, not drained. In the evenings, I connect with friends, cook together, or head outside for a swim. I have surrounded myself with people who lift me up, challenge me, and remind me to keep striving for my best. The doubts that once held me back have faded, replaced by a quiet confidence. I've stopped tolerating distractions, excuses, and self-criticism. Instead, I practice gratitude, reflection, and continuous learning. I am healthy, physically, mentally, and emotionally, a result of daily discipline and habits I once found difficult, now woven into the fabric of my life. As I close my eyes each night, I feel a deep sense of purpose and peace. I am exactly where I am meant to be. You see, the details matter. The morning sun, the laughter in the kitchen, the purpose in the work, the steadfast friendships. These paint a vivid picture. The clearer you are, the easier it is for your brain to seek out the opportunities, connections, and habits that bring that vision to life. Maybe your vision looks different. Maybe you picture bustling city streets, creative collaborations, or serene mornings in a quiet town. Maybe you see yourself writing a novel, managing a team, raising a family, or traveling the world and sharing your story. What matters most is not the form, but the feeling and clarity. The power of putting pen to paper cannot be overstated. When you articulate your vision, you are not only giving your future self a roadmap, you are wiring your mind to look for solutions, resources, and skills you need to build that life. Every time you read it back to yourself, the more real, reachable, and inevitable it becomes. But don't stop there. The final step isn't about control or trying to force the future into your current blueprint. It's about clarity. Clarity reduces friction, decreases indecision, and amplifies focus. When you have focus, action becomes easy. You begin to wake up with intention, and that intention builds not over days, but over years. Because action, sustained over 1,000 days, is what creates the life you once only imagined. So here's your action step. Take out a notebook, open a blank page, and write one paragraph about your life in May 2028. In the full, present tense detail you can muster. Describe that morning you wake up, the work you do, the people you greet, the energy you carry. Let it be vivid, let it be honest, and make it yours. If you want to deepen the impact, record yourself reading that paragraph out loud. There is something powerful about hearing your own voice declare your vision, anchoring it in the present, and sending ripples into your subconscious. Speak it into existence with conviction. And if you feel bold, share your intention and vision with others. Comment below, "In 3 years, I will become," and let that declaration be the first step in your journey. When you speak your dreams, you create accountability, possibility, and most importantly, clarity. Remember, your 3-year vision is not about creating a rigid plan or guaranteeing every detail. Life will surprise you, challenge you, and often nudge you onto unexpected paths. It's not about controlling every outcome. It's about having a clear enough directions to keep moving forward, even when the road twists and the terrain gets rough. Sometimes the simple act of clarity, seeing your future in high definition, in your mind's eye, is all it takes to break free from the cycle of feeling stuck, scattered, or overwhelmed. Clarity creates focus. Focus creates action. And repeated action, day by day, builds momentum and success. So, before you wait for opportunity to come knocking, or for the perfect circumstances to begin, remember, life rewards the bold and the clear-eyed. When you start each day pointed toward your 3-year vision, even the smallest steps bring you closer. Decisions become easier, priorities sharpen, and with each step, your confidence grows. By now, you should have a clear sense of why designing a 3-year vision matters, how to avoid the most common mistakes, and a simple, powerful framework to put it all into action. The only step left is to do it. Write your vision, speak it out loud, share it with someone who believes in you, and commit to showing up for that future, not someday, but today. Tomorrow, we'll take this foundation and build on it. You'll discover how to create a morning routine that actually works, one that aligns with your vision and propels you forward every single day. If you're ready to stop drifting and start designing a life that is truly yours, subscribe and return for day 4. This journey is just beginning, and your future self is already thanking you. Remember, in 3 years, you will become who you decide to be, starting now. Write it down, speak it out, and let's take the first step together.